Hi, Iyore here again today. Today I'm going to be talking to you about nine common mistakes a lot of salespeople make. And these are mistakes I have made myself. Now, when I used to sell for an organization, I sold to 21 HNIs in a single month. I participated in a sales competition and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I grew a portfolio from $3.5 million to $7 million in just 11 months. And I've been doing sales for quite a while. I'm going to talking to you, walking you through these concepts and these mistakes so that you can avoid them. I'm going to show you what to do to even resolve them if you currently have these mistakes now. The first mistake is this. Number one, not committing to personal development early enough. Not committing to personal development early enough. Now, when I joined the sales team in an organization, I only started investing in sales materials and reading sales programs and listening to sales audio programs. Then it was audio programs because I had gone to a meeting with a prospect or with a colleague of mine. Then when we got into that meeting with this prospect, I noticed that when I was trying to persuade the prospect was refusing to be persuaded. And all of a sudden, he started begging, say, sir, please, Oga, please, I don't want to lose my job. When I saw that, I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that selling and begging were in the same thing. So I had to go and start to ask my boss in the office. I said, sir, how do we sell? I wasn't persuaded with the answer. I had to go to here in Lagos, they call it Ikeja under the bridge. I got there and I got all the books I could find on sales and I started to read them. And I'll read these books, I'll get to the office very early in the morning and I'll start to read, at least even if I could cover just a few pages before work started. In the evening when I'm done my work, even if I could cover a few pages before work started. Then as I started to sell, as I grew in my career, I started to get audio programs, and in my car, I now had a car. While I was in my car, I would listen to audio programs back to back. No radio, no, because I felt, why would I listen to radio when I hadn't yet gotten to the top of my career? So committing to personal development early enough, listening to audio programs, listening to content like this, constantly bombarding your mind with information. Because you see, when good things come in, great things will come out. Number two, not intentionally associating with top performers. Not intentionally associating with top performers. Now, I started associating with top performers after I had an issue. I had gone for our monthly performance review and they had asked me questions about the sales the month before. I opened my slide. I had 4 high net worth individuals, which was good. Most guys even do 1 in a whole month. But I got 4 high net worth individuals on this particular month. Even my sales colleagues were clapping for me. Even my colleagues in the office were clapping for me. But the bosses said, what is this nonsense? Go and get us 20 HNIs. 20 HNIs meant 1 per month, 1 per day. But on my way back to the office, I was in the car with a colleague of mine, Haruna, to be precise. He said to me, he says, Iyore, how far are your sales targets? I said, I'll just do my best. I'll just do my best. He now says, the truth is this, any target is achievable if you put your mind to it. Now, Haruna was the top performer in our location then. He was the best. After they gave me this target, I started going out with Haruna more. I started hanging out with Haruna more. And that was part of what even helped me, I believe, to be able to bring in 21 HNIs in a single month. So I tell salespeople, hang out with salespeople more. Look for the top performers, Whenever you join a sales team, wherever you are right now in your sales career, these top performers, they wouldn't come and meet you and tell you, I want to help you. No, you're the one who has to find a way to tie yourself to them. Number 3, not agreeing with the budget, target, or goal in my heart. Not agreeing with the budget. Some people call it budget, some people call it target, some people call it the goal. Whatever word you use for it. Not agreeing with my heart. Apparently, I realized that, see, whenever a target is given to you, if you don't take it in your heart, it would affect how you would be able to deliver on that budget. Like the previous story I told you, when Haruna said to me, says, any target is achievable if you put your mind to it. It was after that conversation, I took that budget in my heart. And I remember one day, I had moved to another organization. When I got in there, the boss in charge, the very senior person in charge, head of retail then, she calls me in for a meeting. And she says, this is what the budget is going to be. And I looked at the budget and she says, can you do it? In my mind, I said, I can do all things through Christ. That was my mentality. So I said, I can do it, man. Apparently, That budget was so high that when I took it to my direct supervisor, who was a top salesperson, in fact, the entire organization knew him, top salesperson, he said, "Was that the budget she gave you?" That was his own boss. "Is that the budget she gave you?" I said, "Yes, sir." He just faced another direction and continued his work. He didn't even talk to me about it because he felt like that's ridiculous. Now, when I got that budget, I should have at least tried and pushed back and said, "Oh, madam, this is budget." At least I should have made a case on reducing the budget. Because I had seen a lady in another organization where I worked. She was a regional manager. Every time she got a budget from management, I would notice that she's pushing back. She's saying, "This is our location. There are peculiarities here. There are challenges here. Let us stay on this previous budget first. Or let us reduce this budget to this. Then let us work." Because at the end of the year, if you don't meet the budget, nobody will tell you, "Oh, it's because it was too high." They would say that you were a non-performer. So not agreeing with the budget or goal in my heart, that means if I push back, it would have been easier for me then. Number 4, not asking for the impossible. Not asking for the impossible. For example, I realized that when I go for business meetings, I like to ask for the impossible. I'll give an example. When I go into for a presentation to a board of an organization, and I'm presenting, before I start presenting, I would tell everybody to introduce themselves. That's asking for the impossible. I never could do that before, but I realized the importance. Because I'd gone for a meeting before, and when I was done presenting, people were asking me so many questions, and these questions were derailing the conversation. The people who were asking questions were not even members of the board. It was only the MD that was there, and he just got his other staff who were freshers, who had just joined the organization, to sit in and join the presentation. But if I had started and had said, "Oh, thank you so much, my name is," then I said, "Okay, hope you don't mind when I go for presentations like this, I like to meet everybody, so that at least I can meet you outside and also say hello. What's your name, sir? And what's your role?" I said, "What's your name, sir? And what's your role? What's your name, madam? And what's your role?" I'll go through the whole room. That's asking for the impossible. Another thing about asking for the possible is going for a virtual meeting. If I have virtual meetings, I insist that the prospect turns on their cameras. Someone says, "How do you insist?" I just use the same sales techniques I've been teaching you, and I use them to engage the prospect to turn on their cameras. And most times they do that. Do you know that even as a consultant, part of asking for the impossible, at times I will tell our clients to give us 100% upfront. And a lot of times we get them to give us 100% upfront. So my point is that asking for the impossible will always give you the best. Number 5, trying to sell to everyone instead of niching. Man, I learned this the hard way. One of the most important things in sales is identifying your target audience. Identifying your target audience. Because see, if you get that wrong from the beginning, every other thing could be wrong. I like to tell a popular story of a man who built a barn. And he said when he built this barn, he was new to the poultry business. He built this barn and he noticed that all of a sudden, all his chicks were dying, one after the other. He was wondering, how come all of my chicks are dying? He gets a consultant. The man comes to the barn and he says, "In what direction is your barn built?" The sun rises in the east, sets in the west. He said, "What direction is it built?" Apparently, it was built in the wrong direction. So he had to bring down the entire barn and start building all over again. With that, he could get the barn set to face the right direction to make sure that the chicks will stay alive. So identifying your target audience is like that. See, it's like that barn built in the wrong direction. If you don't start out choosing your target audience, all your concepts, all your strategies, your communication value, everything could be wrong. So make up your mind that whenever you sell, your organization may tell you, go and sell to everybody. But you know that you have to choose a target audience. So you choose a target audience. Part of what even gave me 21 HNIs in a single month was that I sold a particular target audience. I stumbled on that anyway, because before then I had struggled. But apparently, I just decided to focus on that, and somehow it gave me the results. Only for me to months later realize that this was a major principle when it comes to selling. Number 6, not selling from the top. Not selling from the top. Man, I've been disappointed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure like you have been disappointed as well. You go into an organization, for example, and you're trying to find in fact, I would just talk to the receptionist. I would just talk to somebody in the lobby. I would just talk to anybody who has any role in that organization, and I'll be selling to the person. telling the person what we do. Man, I don't do that anymore. The moment I realize that I am not with the person who makes the decisions, who signs the check, I do not give more than 20% of the information that I have. Just enough information to let the person know that, hey, I want to meet with you and your boss in the next meeting. So qualifying prospects. And that's why I came up with the principle of FUD, food, using the acronym food. Financial capacity, determining financial capacity, determining urgency, and determining the decision-making process. Number 7, not using a sales process. Big mistake. Not using a sales process. I used to think selling was just talk to people and convince them, then they buy. Nah. I realized that selling is like mathematics. Selling is like science. There's a formula that makes it possible for everybody to buy. There's a scientific method and approach to it. I'll give you an example. There's a certain number of testimonials you need to share in a sales conversation that will move the prospect to making a decision, that will move an uninterested prospect to an interested prospect. 3 testimonials. 3 testimonials. So if you share 3 testimonials in a sequential order, stories of before and after, you do that probably at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end of the conversation, or you do that 3 times consecutively, maybe at the end, or at the beginning, or at the middle. Wow, you'll be amazed how to move your prospect to making a decision. There are people who say, there are prospects who say things like, no, don't worry, I already know you. No need. I already know your company. Just go straight to tell me the price. Don't fall for that trap. Price mentioned before value has been understood is a sale lost. And testimonials, a lot of times, helps to amplify the value of what you're selling. Another thing is using the right tone of voice. This part of a sales process, using the right tone of voice to communicate while you're going through the sales process. Ensuring that I build rapport. All these things make it possible for you to be able to get great results. Number 8, not going for enough meetings. Ladies and gentlemen, it was when I was given a target to sell to 21 HNIs. I realized that when it comes to sales, if you don't have enough meetings, you will not meet your budgets. Don't plan any other way. Don't plan that one person will give you the money you're looking for, or 5 people will give you the money you're looking for. Do the maximum number of meetings you can, and you'll be amazed that the people who you were depending on will disappoint you. And the people who you didn't think would give you business or give you transactions are the people that will give you transactions. Going for enough meetings. I sat in my office that day, after this budget was given to me to sell to 21 HNS. I sat there and I said, see, I used to have 1 meeting a week before now. Right now, I can't even afford that. I have to have like 4 meetings every day. Once I get to the office, after our morning meetings, 9 o'clock, I'm out, back to back, every day, going out for meetings, from one office to the other, from one location to the other. Man, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the month, I got in 21 high net worth individuals. The importance of going for meetings. So I've also, in a line of work, in terms of training, consulting for organizations, we go into an organization, they're not performing, sales guys are not meeting the budgets. Because it's a very strong team lead, because it's a very strong team lead, we speak to the team lead and we tell the team lead, we say, hey, you need to ensure that your people go for meetings every day. And all of a sudden, we give them a number of meetings to ensure everybody meets or attends every day. Meetings with fresh prospects, just so you know. I don't mean internal meetings. Meetings with prospects. And it's amazing. I remember one guy in Ibadan. We talked about 4 meetings per day. He said he had spoken to his agents and he insisted that his agents do 10 meetings a day. By the time, at the end of the month, the guys had far exceeded their numbers. What changed? No extra training, no extra skill sets. He just insisted that his sales team, his agents, would do 10 meetings a day and be able to bust the budgets. Finally, number 9, I learned this principle when I was I'll tell you what this is now, but I learned this principle when I was about to get married. I wanted to get a wedding ring. My wedding ring, to be exact, right? I'm married for over 10 years now. My wedding ring, to be exact. I get into this office or this store, And I meet the lady and I say, hello, please, I'm looking for I'm just scanning through many rings, many color, size, gold, silver, different types. I was just scanning. And she says, hello, sir, how can I help you, please? I said, don't worry, I can help myself. I'm just looking for a wedding ring I'm getting married this Saturday. She says, oh, sir, we have over 1,000 rings here. So, but if I can just ask you a few questions, it will help you streamline your options. And I said, oh, okay. All right, go ahead. She now says, do you prefer silver or gold? I said, silver. Now, this means that if she has over 1,000 rings and maybe 300 were gold, 700 were silver, and I said, silver. The 300 gold eradicated. Out of the remaining 700, then she says, okay, do you want them studded or plain? I said, I prefer plain. Maybe about 350 gone again, 350 rings to choose from. She says, do you want it fat or thin? I said, because I'm big, I want it fat. Maybe out of 350, 200 gone, about 150 left. Okay, do you want it any design or pattern? I said, I wanted something patterned, just a little stylish. She just bent over, picked up the ring and said, this is your ring, sir. That was the ring I paid for on the spot. It was exactly what I wanted. So when you meet a prospect and you're giving them too many options to pick from, it now becomes a problem. And that's where I learned the importance of asking questions. Mistake number 9, not asking enough questions to understand the needs of the prospects. Assuming that just because the prospect came and said, I want to buy a wedding ring, or I want this product, you just will start to tell them about that product or service. No. Ask enough questions. Be sure to qualify. Be sure to eradicate all the difficulties and all the options away so that they can make their decisions straight to the point. And of course, listen attentively. Listen attentively. Listen with all your heart to make sure you identify the needs. Thank you so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe. Remember to share with others so that they can all get notified once we have this particular program again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Please drop us a comment please drop us a comment below which of these mistakes you've made in the past. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.